I'm making peanut butter blossom cookies today. These are easy to make and so many people like these. Start out by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In a medium-sized bowl, I've already measured out the flour. I have 1 3/4 cup of flour in here. And then I'm going to add baking soda and salt. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt, and then stir it with a spoon, or I like to use a whisk. And now we'll get over to the butter and the peanut butter. In the large mixing bowl, I have 1 stick of butter that I left sitting out so that it softened. And now I'm going to add the peanut butter. And I'm going to link in the upper left corner of this screen what this kind of measuring cup is for measuring sticky ingredients like peanut butter. And that way you can watch separately what this is. I won't take the time to do that. But I'm putting in a 1/3 cup of creamy peanut butter. And then we're ready to mix this. Plug in the mixer. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. It looks like that. And you just want to keep a rubber or silicone spatula handy to scrape it down. Scrape down the edges. And now I'm going to add the sugars. And I have a half a cup of regular white granular sugar and half a cup of brown sugar. And now I'm going to add 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right. And mix. And I'll show you what that looks like so you get a better idea. And I'm going to scrape it down, and then next I'll add the flour mixture. And I'll probably add a half at a time. Those of you who are new to baking, you need to know that when you're mixing something with flour in it that you just put in, you need to put it on low. Or you'll learn the hard way. If you put it on a higher speed too quickly, the flour is just going to fly out of the bowl. It's terrible. Okay, I want the beaters back. And then I'll put in the rest of the flour. Makes you see what this looks like as it's beating. So once it's incorporated, you can actually stop. And I'm going to scrape the beater, all the batter off the beater into the bowl, and we're going to make them into balls next. With your cookie sheet, you don't have to grease it. I like to use a Silpat mat just because it makes for really great cookies. So what you're going to do is take some dough, make a ball, and depending on how big you make the balls is going to determine how many cookies you get. So this recipe makes between 2 and 3 dozen. So 3 dozen would be, small. and 2 dozen would be bigger. But we're going to have a bowl of sugar. There isn't much sugar in here, maybe a 1/4 cup. And I'm just going to roll this in here so it gets coated with granular sugar and set it like that. And these are going to spread a little bit. Not as much as, say, a chocolate chip cookie, but almost. So you want to leave room for them to spread. And of course, I'm not going to have you watch me make all of the cookies. But I'll pause the video here and come back and show you the next step. I got 18 cookies on this cookie sheet. I have more dough left, but we're going to put these in and we're going to bake them for 8 to 10 minutes. I keep a light on in the oven so I can keep an eye on these. I set my timer for 9 minutes, but I'll be checking these because when they're done, they're going to be slightly cracked on top and they're just going to be slightly, lightly brown. While the cookies are baking in just this short 9 minutes, I have 9 minutes to open Hershey's Kisses. Now I have milk chocolate here and dark chocolate. I've never made them with dark chocolate, but we're going to open these up and have them ready. So I need 18. So, and obviously I'm not going to make you watch this whole thing. But I'm going to show you next what a lot of people do wrong. When I've seen other people's versions of this recipe, there's one thing they do wrong. And I'll tell that to you in a moment. It's been 9 minutes, but they're not too cracked on top and they're really not getting brown yet. So I'm going to add another minute or maybe even another 2 minutes. All right, that's what I wanted to see, these cracked tops. So now I'm going to put a Hershey's Kiss in the middle of each. And this is where some other recipes have gone wrong because they stop here. And then you're wound up with a cookie with a hard chocolate piece inside. So what we do after we put these in, we put it back in the oven. That's why I took these out of the oven. The oven door's closed right now, but it's still on. And I'm going to put these back in the oven for 2 minutes. Just 2. And that will soften the Hershey's Kiss and makes it so much more delicious. So back in the oven for 2 minutes. The 2 minutes are up. I take them out of the oven and I just let them sit here on the cookie sheet for 2 minutes. Now that the cookies have had their 2 minutes, I'm going to remove them to a cooling rack. Don't even ask. And I'm going to let them cool completely before storing them. Now I still have some more dough left and I'm going to bake the rest of the cookies. And I'll put on the screen, when I'm producing the video, how many cookies I got out of here. So you see some of these are kind of big. I actually like them kind of small, like this size, rather than all this cookie in this little, like this one is kind of big. So I like them smaller. But you can make them however you like. So that's how you make peanut butter blossoms. You know what? On second thought, I'll just tell you right now. I got 29 cookies out of this recipe.